Have you ever wondered why certain people seem to walk through life as if they're being guided by an invisible force? As if every step, every decision, every opportunity arises at exactly the right moment. You look around and see individuals who don't appear to have more intelligence, more luck, or more resources than you, yet they live in a completely different reality. Money flows, doors open, dreams come true, one after the other. Meanwhile, you might find yourself fighting day after day, wondering why things are so hard, why, despite all your effort, nothing seems to move forward. And the brutal difference between those who thrive and those who merely survive may not lie where you think. It's not in the degree you earned, it's not in the name you carry, it's not in the connections you have or don't have. The answer lies in a deeper place, in a realm few people explore, but one that defines everything: purpose. Napoleon Hill, the man behind the classic Think and Grow Rich, spent more than 20 years studying the wealthiest, most influential and most respected men of his time. And unlike what many people think, he didn't uncover a magic formula. He discovered a universal principle, a silent code that guided all those who had built empires out of nothing. And that code always began with one decision: to discover and follow a definite purpose. Many people believe wealth comes from talent or luck. But what if I told you that the greatest empires in history didn't begin with money? They began with an idea, a vision, a spark that lit up in someone's heart and never went out. The difference between an ordinary man and an extraordinary one is not what he has in his pocket, it's what he has in his soul. Because when someone discovers their true purpose, something inside them changes. The mind stops wandering, doubts lose their power, excuses die, and an almost supernatural force begins to guide them. But the opposite is also true and cruel. Most people live without purpose. They wake up every day as if being pushed by life, reacting to what happens, putting out fires, chasing urgencies. They live like leaves in the wind. They may even be good people. They may even be intelligent. But something is missing, the anchor, the why. And without that why, even the brightest mind gets lost. And this is where you need to stop. Take a deep breath and be brutally honest with yourself. Are you living with purpose or just existing? In this video, you will discover the key that separates those who truly achieve from those who only dream. We'll talk about what Napoleon Hill really meant by burning desire. We'll dive into the spiritual dimension of purpose. We'll reveal how to align your mind, your faith, and your actions to manifest uncommon results. But first, I want to invite you to make a commitment to yourself. Stay with me until the very end of this video, with your heart open, because content alone doesn't change your life. It's what you do with it that changes everything. And maybe, just maybe, this is the message you were meant to hear today. Have you noticed how your mind talks to you constantly? Even in silence, even when the world around you is quiet, your mind keeps spinning, judging, criticizing, comparing, justifying, doubting. It reminds you of past failures, projects fears into the future, and often sabotages your chances of winning in the present. But the most dangerous part isn't what your mind says, it's the fact that you believe it. You believe you're not good enough, that you were born in the wrong family, that you're too late, that this isn't for you, and without even noticing, you begin to live according to these voices, as if they were the truth. But they're not. Napoleon Hill identified this silent war. He understood that the real battle takes place before money, before fame, before success. It happens in the mind. More specifically, in what you allow your mind to accept as real. Hill wrote that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Right. But what happens when the mind never conceives anything great because it's been trained since childhood to accept crumbs? School taught you math, grammar, geography, but who taught you to dream big? Who taught you that you have the right and the duty to think boldly? Who showed you that faith and prosperity are not enemies, but allies? Probably no one, because most people are anesthetized by a collective programming of scarcity, a type of cultural hypnosis that makes desiring more seem selfish, that makes striving for growth seem arrogant, that makes seeking wealth feel sinful. But it's not. It's a lie, and a dangerous one. Hill saw it up close while studying the greatest names in business and science. He realized that these men didn't just want to succeed, they gave themselves permission to succeed. They had broken free from the average mental script and rewritten their identity in their own minds. And this isn't done with positive thinking alone. It's done with a definite purpose, with unwavering faith, with mental discipline, with the decision that your mind will work for you, not against you. And here's a truth few people talk about. Your mind is a powerful servant but a terrible master. If you don't rule over it, it will rule over you. And how do you master the mind? With clarity, with repetition, with visualization, with decision. Hill called this process autosuggestion, a method of intentionally planting the seeds you want to see grow. If you repeat every day that you are limited, late, and incapable, your mind will make it real. But if you repeat that you are capable, worthy, and guided by a greater purpose, reality begins to bend. But be warned, this isn't magic. It's trained mind. It's applied faith. It's sustained action. Watching this video won't be enough if tomorrow you go back to complaining, doubting, and sabotaging yourself. You must understand that there's a point of no return, a moment when you choose to break from your old self and never look back. That moment is called commitment to your purpose. Maybe you're in that moment now. Maybe you're tired of going in circles. Maybe you're done hearing your mind whisper, "You can't." Maybe deep down, you're ready to silence those voices and activate something new, something powerful, something sacred, something that's been inside you all along. Hill believed that faith begins in the mind, but only gains power when it descends into the heart. And when the mind and heart are aligned by true purpose, the impossible starts to give way. Doors open, ideas emerge, the right people appear, not by coincidence, but by resonance. Do you want to change your life? Then start by changing your mind. And to do that, you must plant a new command, a new frequency, a new identity. And that only happens when you declare, with full conviction, "I have a purpose, and it will guide me." Say it now, with faith. Feel the weight of that statement. Let it sink in, because it's the beginning of your new reality. Napoleon Hill was more than just a researcher of the mind. He was a seeker of the invisible. And although many have read Think and Grow Rich as a book on finances or motivation, few truly grasped what lies behind each chapter. Hill wasn't simply writing about how to make money. He was describing, subtly, almost reverently, a spiritual journey, a kind of inner initiation into wealth that begins within a man, not outside him. And at the center of this journey, he placed a mysterious and powerful force he called infinite intelligence, a silent presence, subtle but undeniably real, a power greater than logic, more precise than reason, wiser than any human strategy. Hill affirmed that every man who achieved greatness had one thing in common, an unshakable faith in something they couldn't see. They didn't just believe in themselves, they believed that their purpose wasn't just their own, it was part of a greater plan. They saw their dreams not as personal goals, but as missions, and that's why they didn't quit. They didn't hesitate, they didn't retreat, because they felt they were being led. And this faith, this invisible connection, is what transformed simple ideas into eternal legacies. But what exactly is infinite intelligence? Is it God, the universe, the collective subconscious? Hill never gave a definitive answer. He left clues. He encouraged each person to seek that answer within themselves. But one thing he made clear: without this connection, purpose begins to wither, because no purpose can survive in isolation. It must be tied to something bigger, something eternal, something that transcends ego and reaches the soul. And here lies one of life's most powerful and dangerous secrets. Prosperity is not generated by effort alone. It is born through alignment. You can work like a slave, wake up early, go to bed late, push yourself to the limit. But if you're out of spiritual alignment, everything feels heavy, exhausting, dry. But when you align your purpose with this higher intelligence, when you pray, meditate, surrender, and truly connect, something changes. You stop fighting the current, and you start flowing with it. Ideas come with clarity, answers arrive at the right time. Resources appear almost miraculously, because now you're not alone. You're co-creating with the invisible. Hill wrote that faith is the state of mind that harmonizes the human mind with infinite intelligence. And more than that, this harmony only becomes possible when you have a clear purpose, a burning desire, and consistent action. This isn't religion. It's spiritual science. It's alignment between mind, heart, and spirit. And that alignment is what transforms desire into reality. Yes, you may desire wealth, you may desire freedom, you may desire success. But if that desire is disconnected from something greater, it will be fragile, it will be unstable, it will be selfish. And the universe doesn't sustain the ego. The universe sustains the mission. And every true mission begins with an encounter with this invisible force, which you may call God, Source, the Holy Spirit, or simply truth. Do you truly want to prosper? Then pause now and look inward. Ask yourself sincerely, is my purpose just about me, or is it about something greater? Because when you shift your motivation, you shift your momentum. And when movement comes from a noble intention, the universe itself starts to move in your favor. Don't overlook this secret. Hill embedded this principle between the lines because he knew few would be ready to receive it. But you are here. You are reading this. You are feeling something. Maybe, just maybe, this is the moment to reconnect, to pray with greater intention, to seek direction before making decisions, to align your mind with your purpose, and your purpose with what is higher. Because a mind connected to infinite intelligence becomes unstoppable, and that is the real power behind every form of lasting prosperity. The time has come to stop postponing, to stop pretending, to stop acting like everything's fine when deep down you know you were born for more. You might still try to convince yourself that everything's under control, that things will change eventually, that someday it'll happen. But here's the truth. Nothing changes until you change. No miracle happens until you make the one decision that changes everything. And that decision begins with a question few dare to answer with complete honesty. What is your purpose? I'm not talking about what you tell others, not the goals scribbled in a notebook and then forgotten. I'm talking about that silent voice that screams inside you when the house is quiet, when the lights go out, when no one is watching. That voice that tells you you're settling for too little, that you're burying gifts, postponing talents, suffocating dreams. That voice calling you higher. Napoleon Hill knew success doesn't come to the fastest, the strongest, or the smartest. It comes to those who are aligned, those who know what they want, those who pour their whole heart into an idea, those whose reason is so strong that even death couldn't stop them. He wrote that a definite purpose is the root of all achievement. But what most people forget is that purpose can't be chosen by the mind alone. It must be born from the soul. It must carry meaning, emotion, and truth. And that's where so many fail. They live with weak goals, hollow desires, objectives borrowed from others, but never truly theirs. They dream of the car, the house, the fame, but they don't know why. They run and run and run, and at the end feel emptier than when they started. Because it's not the prize that fills you, it's the purpose. And purpose only comes when you stop running, when you look inside, when you kneel, fall silent and listen. Yes, listen. Because the answer you're looking for isn't outside. It's within you, right there, where it's always been. Maybe buried under fear. Maybe buried beneath the voices of others. Maybe buried by years of failure and frustration. But still alive, still beating, still waiting for you to finally say, enough. I'm ready. And if you've made it this far, something inside you has already begun to awaken. Maybe it doesn't have a name yet. Maybe it's still unclear, but it's alive. It's stirring. It's calling you to rise. And now you must choose. Will you silence that voice again? Or will you follow it to the end? Most people will never become wealthy, not because they lack talent, not because they lack effort, but because they live without purpose. They move like leaves in the wind, reactive, distracted, trapped in routines they didn't choose, in dreams that aren't theirs, in fears they've never faced. But you don't have to be one of them. Right here, right now, you can decide that your story will be different. You can declare with faith that your life will have direction, that your mind will serve something greater, that your faith will no longer be passive, but active. That the money, the success, the freedom will be nothing more than consequences of a higher, nobler and truer calling, and that this calling comes from above. Napoleon Hill reminds us that the first step to wealth is a definite purpose, but once you take that step, you will never be the same again, because when the mind changes, the world changes. And if something inside you has awakened now, if this message spoke to your soul, write in the comments, I have a purpose and it will guide me. Don't write it on impulse. Write it as a pact, as a commitment, as a declaration of war against everything that has kept you stuck until now. Let's walk this journey together. Here on the channel, The Forge of Prosperity will remind you in every video that wealth doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your soul. Like this video. Share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel, because we're just getting started. And in the chapters ahead, we'll go even deeper into the secrets Napoleon Hill left for true seekers. And if you stayed with me until now, it's because you are one of them. May God bless you, may your mind awaken, and may your purpose never again be silent.